It's go time. It's rock and roll time. It is time to step into your one word vision right here, right now. What is it? Mine is enthusiasm. And you know what? I don't have to be here. I get to be here. So today we are going to talk about on turn positivity into possibility, adventure as a catalyst for turning positivity into possibility. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Hey, if you're joining me live as we record in the Age with Awesomeness community, please do me a favor, hit hashtag live, hashtag replay. Let me know you are there. I want to remind you that I do none of this for me. It is to make the world a healthier, happier, more prosperous place. So if anything resonates with you, speaks to you, please like, comment, and let me know. Let the world know that you are listening. So I'm going to settle in and begin to chit chat in my office, seemingly by myself, but hopefully you'll let me know that you're there. And with that, if you're listening to the podcast live as I record it or when it's dropped, which is basically the first week of January 2024, I want to remind you time will pass. It's what you do with that time that is important. And especially as Gen X badasses, when most of us have lived far past, if you want to be honest, more than half of our life. Because as a man over 50, I have met very few people. My great grandfather did live to be 103. My granddad lived to be 97. So I know if I take care of myself, if I live my best life, if I wake up with enthusiasm every single day, if I make sure I never let the old man in, and it's mindset first, don't let the old lady in either. So never, ever, ever again say that I'm an old man or old woman. Be like a child at 8 years old. When you ask him or her how old they are, they will say 8.5, 8.25. My birthday's coming up. They're always looking for a brighter and better tomorrow. So as we dive in today, we're going to talk about, and I believe this with my entire core, when you discover the world, you ultimately discover yourself. So today we're going to talk about having an adventurous spirit, being a seeker of significance, connecting with the world, being a courageous explorer, self-discovery, and ultimately embracing challenges. So does any of that resonate with you? Think about it. I'm going to read that again. I'm going to say it again. Do you have an adventurous spirit? Are you a seeker of significance? Do you have a calling to connect with the world around you? Do you want to be, or are you a courageous explorer? Are you continuing self-discovery? Are you willing and ready to embrace challenges? So let's talk about a quick challenge. This is not necessarily discovering the world, but Trailblazer Stu, living in Massachusetts, texted me the other day. He said, "You tell me I'm made to do hard things all the time. It is 20 degrees. It is snowing. It feels like 10 degrees. And I am committed to my health. And I have a run plan. I'm going to go out and do it." And you know what? She did it. She survived. She proved her resiliency to herself. And ultimately, all of this is about who we are. The more that you become a seeker of significance, you connect with the world, you're a courageous explorer, you embrace challenges, you become a stronger, more confident individual that ultimately people want to be around. So think about that. Think about that. I want to tell you kind of how this whole idea of discovering the world and discovering yourself happened. I've been one who I've lived in 7 or 8 different states. I was born in Pennsylvania. I live in Texas. I lived in Alaska. I lived in California, Mississippi, South Dakota, New Jersey. I'm sure I missed a few. And I often think because I was a military dependent, we moved every 3 or 4 years, right? We had to embrace challenges. We were going to go to city states that the cultures were different. We could either be pissed off about the fact that we didn't have A or B, or we could learn C and D. Did it take time? Sure. As a little boy, was it hard because I wanted to play ball, shoot baskets, or whatever, and I couldn't go down to Jimmy's house because I didn't know Jimmy? But what it taught me was to not be afraid of people, to look people in the eye, to shake hands and introduce myself and make a decision Red, green, black, or blue, as long as you are a quality human being, we could be friends. With that, the number one rule of the Trailblazer community is you can't be a douchebag. Pretty simple. We have zero desire for drama. None. We've lived too long. We're not in junior high anymore. We are now seekers of significance. We have raised our kids. We are watching them grow. Many are getting married. Many are having children. Maybe they're still in college. Who knows? Maybe they're just about to leave. I had a conversation with a great friend yesterday. The other day said, I love to watch your adventures. I love what you're doing with the business. I love how you're creating Trailblazers. And I love that you and Tanya just went and met a Trailblazer Bob and Trailblazer Rebecca in Nashville for the weekend. Because not that I'm trying to have my kids grow up too fast, because in 4 years, I will be an empty nester. But I look forward to those times when we get online, we find a flight, we fill the car with gas, we go become seekers of adventure and trying new things. So are you ready? Are you willing to? Have you thought about what it means to discover the world and discover yourself? Because discovering the world is an incredible journey. As we explore places, cultures, experience, you begin to uncover parts of the world that maybe you never knew existed before. Think about that. Cultures are different. I don't try to change them. I don't challenge you to change them. I challenge you to embrace it and learn and discover and learn the language and drink the drink and eat the food. When you do it, it's going to reveal your inner strengths, your powers, and some of your self-limiting beliefs. But it's not ultimately only about the destination, it's about the self-discovery along the way. Who are you? Who are you meant to be? And where do you want to go next? So I want to challenge you to turn that positivity into possibility, to take your heart and soul and see where you want to go. Know that over the course of the next year, years and years, I'm going to invite you as I record today's podcast. Our first Trailblazer adventure is Mexico City. We have many things planned, from food to going on the canals of Mexico City that used to be all canals. Right now, the city is built on water. To go see the Aztec ruins and just ponder with our tour guide and wonder, how did they do this? How did they build it? How do they know to do it without computers, without the machinery today? And just be amazed at our predecessors, people who came before us, and how they led us to where we are today. Because I truly believe when you discover the world, you will discover yourself. I don't have a little thing, a little bar to say Trailblazers. That was a complete accident. Trailblazer started in December of 2021. We decided that we were going to blaze a trail as a community and invite people to join us. We are going to not bitch about the world as it is today, but we're going to try to change it to make it a better place, at least in our world, and let that ripple effect happen, one person, one connection at a time. So earlier, or in 2023, I have my contacts in today, without my glasses on, with sleepy, puffy eyes, maybe without a cup of coffee. I was trying to write and post something. I think it was on Instagram, because during our Oklahoma City retreat, I got hacked big time in my Facebook page. That was a pain in the ass to fix. So make sure your passwords, my friends, aren't your kids' names and your birth year, or something that's easy to figure out. I accidentally wrote the word Trailblazers. And boom, something was born. And then came up with the tagline, discover the world, discover yourself, because we were in Oklahoma City. And it was only one Trailblazer's hometown. The rest of us came from other places to discover the people and the resiliency of Oklahoma City. When we went to Italy, we went to Rome, we went to Florence last year, we didn't speak the language. We had to catch a train. We got help. We asked questions in our broken Italian and their broken English, and we smiled and we laughed. We figured it out. So we became seekers of significance. We decided to have and embrace our adventurous spirit. Think about that. Where have you been? What's your favorite place you've ever been on this earth? As we build and create and invite the Trailblazer and Trailblazer community, not shrouded is a terrible word, laying a foundation in faith, fitness, fellowship, and fun. This is part of the fun, right? We don't know who we learn and discover who we are. That's our faith. What are we meant to do and how are we meant to do it? We must make sure we take care of our physical, mental, and emotional health. And what we do is we think in years, plan in months, and live in days. So every day we have things on our checklist to accomplish. And then weekly we look back at the week and all we want to know is, did we accomplish it 4 times this week? Not every day. It'd be great. Man, if you're on a roll and rocking, right? And you're walking, you're drinking your water, you're getting your sleep, you are living in attitude with the attitude of gratitude, and you're reading every day and you're connecting with people every day, then don't stop. But when there's a hiccup, and there will be a hiccup, there will be highs and lows, and the community's there to lift you up and pick you up. All we're asking you to do is ultimately win, be successful 4 times out of 7, 3 weeks out of 4, and 8 months out of the year. And then intermittently add adventure, add a connection, add travel, come to a retreat, be a seeker of significance, looking for what your legacy is going to be. I'm going to challenge on our Monday motivation call. So every Monday, all the trailblazers are invited to join me on Zoom and talking tech Monday motivation. Get fired up. So last year we read The Comfort Crisis. And one of the things it talks about is a misogi. Creating an event, something so big, so challenging that you'll never forget it. It doesn't have to be a physical challenge. Yesterday on my Ruck and Talk with Trailblazer Chris, I said, Chris, for well over a decade, I have penned a book and then I stop. But if you go to James Clear's Atomic Habits, identity-based habits, if I want to be a writer, I have to write. If you want to be healthy, you have to make healthy choices and identify as a healthy person. If you want to be a runner, identify as a runner. You want to be financially successful, identify yourself as somebody who is financially successful. You want to identify yourself as a motivator, inspirator, whatever it is, identify as that person and then begin to make the choices that that person will make. So I will write my book this year and it will be published by the last quarter of 2024. I really believe it can be sooner than that. And Chris said, man, if you write 10 pages a day, 250-page book, 25 days that you could potentially be done. Why? Because writers write. So that significance for me is really writing the book so that my children, grandchildren ultimately know who their father and grandfather was and what he wanted to do in the world. So that's one way, by going and traveling and having those experiences, I can share those stories in the book. Right? So we're looking for that significance. We're going from success to significance. We followed the plan to graduate high school, maybe go to college, get married, buy a house, have a kid, and then you settle in and you raise your kids and you turn around and eventually the kids are gone because that's what we're supposed to do. There's no greater thing in the world that we can do than raise a human being to an amazing adult. And I think we can do it even better when we begin to connect with the world around us. When we begin to realize that the world has been scary and dark since the dawn of time, but we don't have to live in that. We get to be smart. We get to shake hands. We get to connect. Because I believe there are way more people in the world that want to raise their families, want to get together on holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, whatever it is, go on trips, go on that annual vacation, whatever it is, and connect with the world. But think about embracing a different culture. Think about being inspired by something, thinking globally and acting locally, taking something when you come with us to Mexico City, or you go to Idaho and you come back to Texas or Michigan or Florida or Kentucky or Kansas, wherever you're going to go, or you go to Italy or Ireland with us, or you come to Croatia, you spend a month on the beach in Mexico City. These are all things that are happening. What can you do? How can you connect? And what are the stories you can tell on a call, on a one-on-one with Trailblazer Jessica, who is the Gen X Badass of the Week? So you're going to want to tune in, catch that, and hear her talk about what that means to her. But she says when it'll be her first adventure out of the United States of America, going to a foreign country, a country that many people will speak English, but it's not the predominant language, it's Spanish. She said, when you get excited talking about me, you're talking about when you went here and you went here and you went here, or you left the airport in Switzerland and just wanted to catch a train and you didn't know how to do it and you just walked to the train station. You found the guy or girl in the little red jacket who thankfully spoke English. We said we want to go to the city center. We put in our credit card. Boop, boop, boop. They told us which train to get on, and we started to walk around downtown Geneva. We just did it. We just did it. And we grew because of it. Or the time we were in Mexico City, and yes, it's English and Spanish, and Tanya and I were still so confused. We were in the wrong terminal. We had to ask questions. Our broken Spanish, their broken English. It took us a lot longer to get to the right terminal, but we go so early, we weren't late, and now we just laugh about it. There was no arguing. It was just like, okay, settle down. Did they say bus or did they say train? What do we need to do to get to Terminal 2? That's it. So we embrace and we encourage and we support you being a courageous explorer. Go somewhere, right? That you don't speak the language. Do the research. Learn some. Currently, every morning with my coffee, I am on Duolingo learning Italian and Spanish 15 minutes. 15 minutes. 150 minutes every 10 days. Will I be fluent? No. Will I have a basis so I can listen and I can try to ask questions? Absolutely. I sure as hell can't, pardon me, say, "Donde está mi pasaporte?" I can't find my passport. But I'm not really allowed to carry my passport. Tanya does that, right? Be a courageous explorer. Self-discovery. Even more so, I think, when you choose to do it with like-minded people. So many of the people that are going to Italy, several of them are single women, and they want to travel, and it can be scary. But they don't want to be in a singles group. They want to go with seekers of significance. They want to go with people that want to blaze a trail that's never been there before, and they want to invite other people to join them. So they're coming with us. We're going to embrace them, right? There's really only two couples going. It doesn't matter. But they want to discover who they are, who they're meant to be. They want to good drink, eat great food, have great discussion. We have learned since we've started putting on these events that the best conversation happens at the table, at the dinner table, the lunch table, the breakfast table. And maybe even more the day after we've done something. But that night when we sit there, we're eating, and maybe we're chopping dice, like I say, cooking together. The self-discovery happens because somebody, oftentimes it's me as the coach, right? To ask a question, then sit back and be quiet and let people talk and share. You become a global citizen. Imagine that. I love the fact that I have my grandmother's passport, and it doesn't have a whole bunch of stamps, but the one thing she always wanted to do was go to Israel. And when my dad was going to school, he told her he would send her, and he sent my mom and my grandmother to Israel. And now I get to ask my mom questions about that 20 some years later. And I get to hear her interpretation of seeing some amazing historical places in the world, and also what it meant to her to take her mother, my grandmother. When you travel, you're gonna have challenges. Maybe the flight gets canceled. Maybe your luggage gets lost. Although for the most part, we're embracing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 packing challenge. One hat, two pairs of shoes, three cover-ups, right? What is it? I don't have it in front of me. So maybe it's 3 jackets, 3 shirts, 4 pairs of pants, 5 pairs of socks, 6 undies, and a bra for ladies. It depends how long you're going. But then all we have to do is take our backpack. That's it. All I have to do is grab my backpack. I've got my charger, right? Because it's the modern world. We use primarily our credit cards when we go just for safety financially. Then we make sure in international travel that we don't get charged international fees, because the first time I went to Mexico, I got charged a fee. Those are challenges, but you learn, and you get to share them with people. So that's the key. That's the key. So my question for you today, when you wake up every day and you know who you are because you've done the work to know what your faith is. It is not being a Catholic or a Protestant. The alarm clock will tell you when, it will not tell you why. So what's important to you? What is a legacy you want to leave? Why are you getting up every single day? The reason I tell you I'll never retire, I'll just reduce the amount of hours I work, because I know for a fact that you must have a reason to get out of bed every day. Every day. And if it is going to a different state, city, country, continent, then you will get up every day and do the things you need to be physically, mentally, emotionally healthy, connected within the community to do it. That little carrot waiting for you out there in the world to wake up and be amazing, to step into your one word vision, whether it's joy, determination, uncertainty, breakthrough, whatever that might be, to find and rediscover that adventurous spirit that you used to have on the playground when you were a child, because dreams don't have an expiration date. Decide you're going to be a seeker of significance. You're going to connect with the world. And ultimately, you get to be your own explorer, your own Christopher Columbus. You get to decide that. Discover the world and discover yourself. It's an honor and a pleasure, truly, to be the leader of creating these great events. From Mexico City, Boise, Idaho, in February of 2024, if you're listening in 2024, to Italy, to Ireland in April of 2024, to Park City, Utah in July of 2024, to up to a month on the beaches of Cancun in September of 2024. And we've got more time and dates to fill in. So stand by. But within the coaching community, within the progress, being seekers of significance, being trailblazers, turning into travel blazers, we ultimately turn positivity into possibility, which really means we're looking for potential, for space. We also know we're going to embrace all emotions. And sometime along the way, we're not going to want to do X. We're going to do it because we want to achieve Y and Z and put it on repeat. So embrace the challenges, my friend. Never, ever waste a heartbeat. That might be the most important message. Leave nothing on the table. When I was a football coach, basketball coach, right, we'd say leave nothing on the field, leave nothing on the court, have no regret. And by turning and creating adventure as a catalyst for a positive lifestyle, for being a Gen X badass, for waking up and being amazing, for living the life you have while you create the life you love, that's what about. Leave nothing on the court. When your time comes, and it's going to come for all of us, and it's come faster than we're ready for, have zero regret. Know that you did the best you can. You became or went from success to significance, and you chose that. You choose it. Because there's only one of you, there'll only ever be one of you, and when you leave, there'll never be another one of you. So I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to get excited and passionate about the life you have. It's amazing that any of us are here, that our forefathers fought and some died along the way, but our ancestry is let us be here today. Do something today that your ancestors will be proud of, because they fought for you, they lived for you, and they had dreams for you. Be and find adventure. Use it as a catalyst for a positive lifestyle to turn positivity into possibility. With that, my friend, I want you today, I challenge you today to make sure you're stepping into that one word vision, to make sure you text somebody today or call somebody today and tell them you're thinking of them and expect nothing in return. And one last thing before I say adios, tell those you love them, and never assume they know. Until next time, let's continue to turn positivity into possibility and step into being the Gen X badass you were born to be.